up, everybody? Back at it again, but this time we have a little bit of a different vehicle. Thank you to Max Motors in Richmond, Missouri. We have a 2025 F-150 in their Lightning model, and this is going to be the flash trim. I was a little skeptical picking this thing up because it's not like we are EV pros or pro EV by any means. We do like our internal combustion engines, and me being a 2000 Lightning owner myself, I was real iffy on this one. However, it didn't take long before I was driving this thing and I was like, damn, this thing is not too bad. It was quiet. It's like dead quiet in there when all the windows are up. You can't hear anything. And then I punched it for the first time and it spun all four tires, and I was immediately like, okay, let me see what this truck is all about. Like I can get down with this thing. This one was a huge surprise as far as enjoyment to drive for me, especially coming off of the Black Widow F-150 that we just did. The Black Widow looked really cool on the outside, but it was a very, my personal opinion, boring truck to drive for me. I think it needed a Whipple on top. Let's go over some of the things on this F-150 that I have found so far that I thought are really cool outside of the performance. Now we're gonna get there. I made sure to put the camera up in the windshield. I got a couple of reaction videos that we're gonna throw up here in the video as well. But yeah, let's go over this F-150. We'll go for a drive. We're also going to throw the Draggy in this truck too, because it does run so good that I immediately was like, I gotta get the Draggy in here to see what it's actually doing. And so yeah, for 6,000 pounds, this thing moved out phenomenally. Let's go over this truck. So right off the bat, let's start at the back end, because I feel like it has one of the more disappointing things about this truck that I have realized, and I think it's because it's a 2025 model, but they got rid of that bar across the back tailgate that goes all the way across. That kind of like, I don't know, what would you say? It set itself apart. Like this is a Lightning, this is a normal F-150. So like, I don't know why they would get rid of that, but that was definitely like a showcase of the Lightning. I do like the uniqueness of the badges that they put on this F-150, along with the taillights. I think these are pretty good looking too. Big fan of the Lightning logo that they used, you know? And in fact, I've seen a newer single cab Lightning, instead of going with like the first gen or the second gen Lightning badges, he had put this one on his single cab, which I thought was pretty damn cool. Moving right along, you have kind of these unique wheels, and I see a lot of these style like on EVs. You also kind of have your different badging up front here, your F-150, and it says flash there down at the bottom, so that's pretty cool. Big shout out, Brad Pack, you're gonna say the same thing, but big shout out to this Antimatter Blue, because it is one of the best blues that Ford has ever come out with. It looks so sick. In fact, most people I've talked to since driving this truck, they think it's black, and I'm like, it's actually blue, and they lose their mind. But yeah, if it is nighttime, this truck does look black, but as you can tell in the daylight, this thing has so much metallic in it and really stands out in the sun. And I actually really like the color up next to this blue on the F-150 badge here. It's super sharp. I can't get over the paint on this truck. Obviously, you come around front, you know that the Lightnings have that wild light that wraps around the outside and goes across the front of the hood and back down. That's kind of their unique styling for the front. That's kind of why I'm disappointed that that bar light isn't on the back tailgate. It goes along with this, you know. But yeah, you know, these already have their the different grille than you see in all the other vehicles. This doesn't have a internal combustion engine back behind that grille ready to be cooled off. But yeah, that's about it for the outside. Nothing too crazy. Let's jump into the inside and then drive this thing. That's going to be my favorite part. So like I said, this is the flash trim model of this F-150 Lightning. So it is a mid-level trim. Interior, you know, just it's leather. Everything else is leather. Everything's wrapped nice. You have this nice stitching on the dash. But yeah, there's nothing insane. I'd say the most thing that stands out on the interior side of this F-150 is definitely the 15.5 inch screen. That thing is nice. I'm a big fan of the larger screens. And it works really well. And part of this screen is the public charging station. Like you just click the button that says public charging station, and it finds all the public charging near you, wherever you are at the time. And that's actually how I just charged this thing up. I found a level 3 charger that was public. That was my first time ever doing it too, so it wasn't too bad. Just got out, you know, it's just like almost going to like a fuel pump. As you pay, plug the thing in, and since it was a level 3, it was charging pretty fast. And so we got back up to like 92%, and here we are. All right, I'm not gonna sit here and go over everything on the interior and bore everybody to death. Let's cut through the crap and get to the actual driving part. That's the funnest. All right, guys, this is the day that we're doing the 25 Lightning in the flash trim review. But I've been getting people's reactions from this thing. So what I need is to get Brad Pack Media's reaction. Look at Brad's Cobra back there.
My Cobra, right?
Oh my gosh. Because genuinely, we're not like electric vehicle dudes by any means. In fact,
against them,
I would say you're exact opposite. Yeah. But Driving this F-150, I have a Lightning myself. I have a 2000 with a Whipple on it, so like I'm a diehard Lightning guy too. But once I started driving this thing, I was like, whoa. This is super fun to drive, and it's the power. We had that Black Widow F-150 the other day, and I didn't think that it was near as fun to drive. It was actually pretty boring, to be honest with you. This truck, way more fun to drive than that Black Widow because of the power that it makes. So let's jump in here. I want to get Brad's reaction and how he thinks this thing drives. Let's go.
And just hammer it.
Yeah.
Holy shit. We're already going 60.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm going to be honest. I'm pretty underwhelmed by that.
Yeah.
When I first picked this truck up, Bradley, it was 88 degrees that day. So it was hot.
Okay,
so
yeah.
the batteries were warm.
That's still
And it
quick.
squalled all 4 tires.
Seriously?
I swear to you, all 4 tires were just squalling on this thing. Now that it's 73 degrees and cooler,
Yeah.
it's not running like it was.
That's still
Okay, now, yeah, hit it
impressive.
again.
Okay. All right. Jesus Christ.
Isn't that crazy? And it's 6,000 pounds.
Okay, that torque is actually ridiculous.
Hit it again. All right, our turn is the RA to the right.
Okay.
So on to the driving of this F-150 Lightning. It's a joy to drive. It's a big vehicle, and you can feel that it weighs 6,000 pounds. But it's really smooth. It's a very smooth truck. I mean, would you say it drives? I mean, it drives nice. And when the window's up, like, hold on just a second. It is. I mean, it's dead quiet in here. You could talk, you could whisper and hear each other. So that's a huge difference between the electric and the gas motor for sure. But just it's not like it looks quick by any means. It doesn't at all. And you would not, I think that's the best thing is that you wouldn't expect it, is that when you hop in here and you hit the throttle, that it absolutely, it almost feels like it wants to bunny hop, like poof, off the road. But yeah, we're gonna do some driving. I mean, we're not gonna, like I said, we're not gonna bore you with a whole lot of driving, because like you guys have probably driven F-150s before, but just hopefully you can tell how quick this thing is. The throttle response in here is dramatically different than when you're driving a gas-powered car. You know, you put the foot down and she rolls out. I mean, you can probably hear the tire squalling over here. It absolutely rolls out. So you're not waiting on turbos or, I mean, probably more so if you're going to compare it to anything, probably a supercharger where it's instant power right from the dig. But it's very enjoyable driving. I could see myself driving one of these back and forth to work every day, especially if you had the right charger installed at home. Yeah, it would be a great daily. Like I said, if I could just afford to have one in the driveway for when I want to take it out and drive it, say I'm just going across town, I'm just running errands for the day in the city, whatnot, I think it would be perfect for that. But let's jump into the draggy video of the quarter mile of what I was able to run. Now, I will say it was probably, I think it's going to say it was probably 60-something degrees out that day. And I could tell immediately that it affected the performance of the truck because of just a little bit chillier weather. I noticed when I picked the truck up that day, it was like 88 degrees and it ripped. It was squalling all 4 tires every time I hit the throttle. It was ripping. Took it out the other morning, you know, it was in the 60s and 70s. I could 1000% tell that it was down on power, but still squeezed out some really good numbers, and I think it would do even better on a hotter day. So if I get the opportunity to have this thing when it gets a little bit hotter, I'll go out and do something with it. But yeah, let's get to the draggy videos, show you guys what it ran 0 to 60 and through the quarter mile. All right, this is gonna be my first 0 to 60 and quarter mile test in this 2025 F-150 Lightning. Let's see what she does. Hit another 0 to 60 real quick, quarter mile. All right.
pull this. It is all-wheel, right?
Yeah. That's actually pretty fucking cool.
I know.
That is not bad.
Not bad.
So what's the 285 miles?
You can have 284 miles till you're out of battery
out of juice.
right now.
That is interesting.
Isn't it weird? And it's so heavy too.
Ready?
Yeah. Imagine if Ford offered this truck in a single cab.
Oh.
Imagine 4-wheel drive, all-wheel drive. It would be sick. I will say it would be sick if we could change from 2-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive. I mean, it would absolutely. You'd have so much fun with the back tires. It'd be insane.
Yeah.
But a single cab version of this truck would be absurd.
Well, so just changing 2-wheel drive to 2-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive or vice versa, like you're cutting out a motor.
Yeah.
So you would know you would lose a lot of your power. However, but if you wanted to goof off and play around, then that would be like basically the only reason. Like it would be significantly less fast, but probably substantially more
That is
fun.
true. So I guess I would still take a single cab version of this truck. That would be with the same range. If you can get the same range and everything,
That's going to be the tough part. Like
that
I
would be
feel like
the daily to have.
I feel like they would have to shallow the bed up. The bed would have to become way more shallow because they'd have to
Put the batteries in
need
there.
somewhere to put the batteries.
All right, what we have done is we have loaded the F-150 Lightning with 4 people, and I'm curious to see what it'll run quarter-mile wise and 0 to 60. So that's exactly what we're gonna figure out. We have the draggy hooked back up. That way you can see what it does when it's just me in the truck versus what it does when there's 4 people in here. Right here looks good. See what we can muster up here. Still 1297?
It's not bad.
Not bad for a 6,000 pound truck with 4 dudes in it. Wow, I'll take that. All right, so what we're gonna do now is I want Andrew to drive. Andrew's the one that owns this Model 3 Performante here in front of us. I want him to drive this F-150 Lightning as a Tesla owner to see how it stacks up to what he drives every single day. So let's get started with that, and that'll probably be the end of this video. Let's go.
First impression, the seats are pretty comfortable. Does it have auto shift? Oh, it doesn't.
What's auto shift? Explain it to me like I'm an idiot.
Auto shift, like in my Tesla, I just put my foot on the brake and it automatically puts it in gear.
Oh.
So, and it's nice, like when I'm backing out of a stall, if I turn the wheel and press the brake, it goes straight into forward.
Oh, that's cool.
So, I'm sure with time, these will eventually have them as well. So, oh shit.
Feels weird back here.
It's definitely got some pull in the front. Front wheels pull a little bit. I don't know what you'd call that.
Does it feel more front biased than the Tesla maybe?
Yeah. Power's smooth though. I like the power.
What model is yours?
Mine is the 2024 Model 3 Performance. I mean, we're comparing apples to oranges, but
Yeah, sure.
the power is smooth. I mean, it's not an aggressive, uncomfortable pull. I think for a vehicle this size, I think it's a nice power delivery. And we've done several pulls, and I don't even know what the battery percentage is at, but it's nice. It's smooth. Like you were saying earlier, like it's the perfect daily.
Yeah.
It's got good zip around town. You can stoplight to stoplight. You can.
I'd say, like, if you're a truck guy, maybe even just hinting at looking at an EV, this is the one that you should look at. If you're a Ford guy too, because GMC
Right.
also has one that's actually really good looking.
Because let's be honest, most truck guys don't use their truck that often.
No.
Like most of us are driving it back and forth to work. We're occasionally pulling the boat to the lake or something, and this thing, like, it fits that build, you know.
So would you drive it, Andrew?
Yeah, for a fleet vehicle, if I needed something for work or whatever, yeah, absolutely. This thing's, it's comfortable, it's smooth, it rides nice, it's super quiet.
All right, guys, that's gonna do it for our F-150 Lightning review this week. Big shout out Max Motors Richmond, Missouri, and Dylan Wyse. This truck is available at Max Motors. Hit up Dylan if you're interested. I would definitely get this truck. If you were a truck person, like a Ford person, and you were looking, just even hinting at maybe looking at any sort of EV, go drive one of these Lightnings, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. So yeah, not a long one. Didn't want to bore everybody too long. This is my take on the F-150 Lightning. Let's go.